Mongolia doesn't exactly scream economic powerhouse, right?
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Fitch Ratings, they just upgraded Mongolia's credit rating
Yeah.
to a B,
Wow. That's,
which is pretty surprising when you think about it.
yeah, it's not the first place you think of.
Not really. So we're diving into this ECNet news article.
Okay.
It breaks down all the reasons behind the upgrade.
Okay.
And basically, it comes down to what's under the ground there.
Really?
Big time. Before we get into the details, though, can you give us some context?
Sure.
What makes mining such a big deal for Mongolia specifically?
It boils down to supply and demand. Mongolia's got these huge reserves of copper and coal, and globally, those are in high demand.
Yeah, everyone wants those.
Exactly, and they're right next door to China.
Oh,
The biggest customer out there?
so it's like they've got the best lemonade stand
Yes,
on the hottest day of the year,
exactly.
right outside a marathon finish line.
100%.
Yeah.
Proximity to China and that global demand puts them in a really good spot.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of countries don't have that.
The article mentions this Oyu Tolgoi copper mine.
Right.
Is there something special about that mine?
Yeah.
Or is it just like another copper mine?
Oyu Tolgoi is special. It's huge. One of the biggest copper deposits we know of.
Wow.
And they're going to increase production in 2025, like a lot.
Wow. So that's going to
Be
be
a game changer.
So you've got the location,
Right.
you've got the resources, and then this like mega mine.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good recipe for success.
Seems like it, yeah. But it's not all about mining, though.
Right. Right.
It plays a big role, but there are other things that are helping their economy.
Like
But
what?
their finances are getting better.
So beyond just the mines then,
Yeah.
what else is contributing to this rosy picture? So beyond just the mines then,
Yeah.
what else is contributing to this rosy picture?
So their government's getting their act together financially. I mean, they're expected to have a surplus.
So they're actually...
Yeah, taking in more than they spend.
Wow.
That's really attractive to investors, Shows some stability.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like they've learned to manage things a bit better.
Yeah, you could say that. But also, they're spending smart.
Okay.
The article talks about capital expenditures, like infrastructure.
So it's not just like fixing potholes.
No.
Like building new highways.
Exactly. Building for the future.
Which usually means a stronger economy in the long run.
Exactly. It's all connected. Better roads, things move smoother, businesses save money, markets open up.
Right, right. And are those positive changes actually showing up in, like, real numbers?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're projecting something like a 26% jump in revenue for 2024.
Compared to last year.
Yeah. And spending's up, too, like 36%.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot. It means they're putting their money where their mouth is,
Yeah, but that's got to be risky, right? Spending that much?
It does make you wonder, especially since, the article did say there were challenges.
Right, right. Like what? What kind of challenges?
Well, there's the whole thing about them relying so much on exports, especially to China.
Right, right. Because we were saying earlier, that's such a good thing.
It is right now. But
what happens if, like, I don't know, what if China's economy goes down?
Exactly.
Or they just, like, stop needing as much copper or coal?
Exactly.
Then what?
Yeah, that's the big question. It's a double-edged sword, that reliance on China.
So what can they do?
Diversify. That's the key. Can't put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Right, right. Makes sense. And what about this other thing? The article mentioned something called...
Pro-cyclical.
Yeah, that was it. Pro-cyclical fiscal policies.
Right, so...
It sounds kind of complicated.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Imagine the government's like, copper prices are amazing. Let's build a ton of new roads and bridges.
Correct.
So they pumped all this money into the economy. Things are booming.
Right.
But then copper prices crash.
Oh, no.
And suddenly they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they were depending on that copper money.
That makes sense.
It's like betting everything you've got on one hand of poker.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly. Those policies, they can make the good times better, but the bad times much worse.
So what's the solution there?
They got to find balance, Spend when times are good, but save for when they're not.
Don't get too carried away.
Exactly.
So big picture time. Where does Mongolia go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
So where does Mongolia go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yes.
It seems like they're caught between a huge potential,
Yeah.
but also some big risks.
Yeah. So what's the final word?
I'd say overall, cautious optimism. There's a real chance for them to turn this into lasting growth. use their resources, their location.
Right.
But they've got to play it smart.
Yeah. No more betting everything on,
On that one hand of poker.
right, exactly.
Got to diversify, manage their money well.
So it's kind of like they're walking this tightrope,
Yeah,
but like a safety net is starting to appear.
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
They're not totally out on a limb. They've got demand. They've got a decent credit rating now. But
But they can't, like, take it for granted.
exactly, they can't just relax. The next few years are crucial. The choices they make now will have a big impact.
This is all super interesting, but why should, like, the average person care?
That's fair. It's easy to think, like, Mongolia, that's so far away.
Yeah, it's like on the other side of the world.
Right, exactly. But the global economy, it's all connected. What happens in Mongolia, it can actually affect us here.
Really? How so?
Okay, think about copper.
Okay.
The price of copper. When Oyu Tolgoi ramps up production, it's going to flood the market with copper, right?
Right.
Prices go down. What uses copper?
Like wires,
Wires or
maybe plumbing.
plumbing, exactly.
What else?
Electronics,
Oh, right.
phones, computers.
So it could actually, like, make things cheaper for us.
It could, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. And then if their whole economy does well,
Yeah.
more trade, maybe more jobs,
Interesting.
it's all connected, like a big web.
It's pretty wild to think that a country most people couldn't even point to on a map
Right.
could suddenly become, like, really important.
It's a great example of how the world's changing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Makes me wonder, what's next for them?
Right.
What else might they be good at, besides mining?
Yeah, what other industries might take off there?
Could they actually become, like, the next big economic power?
Who knows? It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
It was a good one.
It really was. Thanks for breaking it all down.
Anytime.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us as always. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into, well, who knows where. Until then, keep exploring and stay curious.